What? Did we just become best friends?
Yeah!
One is a t-shirt queen, and the other is an SEO and web developing ninja. And both of these squirrels are a little nuts. You're now listening to the More Gooder Ideas podcast, a show for the small business hustlers worldwide, encouraging you to be your most authentic self. This is the place where your whole story matters. Come for the tips and stay for the fun. Now, your hosts, Angie Patterson and Jay Smith.
Recording.
We're going?
Yep.
Welcome back to More Gooder Ideas podcast, where we don't know what we're talking about, but hopefully you do.
Way to set the expectation. So I thought it'd be kind of cool, since we're rounding out the end of the school year, to kind of update on the activity with the media arts pathway students I work with all year.
Yay.
We just had a screening at the theater at Atherton High School with the folks from the Home of the Innocents.
Yay, because we talked about that on a previous episode that you wanted to do that, but I don't know that it had...
Yeah, I don't know if we've talked about how we actually already filmed. I think we did. But yeah, so we filmed. We took a crew of about 20 out there. They filmed 3 different teams. One was filming for social media. One was filming for Atherton On Air, AOA, which is the internal news report at school. And then one filmed and edited the primary recruiting video. So a lot of questions. I think we interviewed probably 15, 16 staff members, every level, HR, the actual therapists. If you aren't aware of the Home of the Innocents, it's huge. I mean, it's big time. They serve children throughout Kentucky in foster situations and all that. And it's just an amazing nonprofit. I met Ladea Owens, who's one of their HR managers at a networking event, GLI. She's amazing. And we were just chatting, and she mentioned, I said, "Oh, you're in HR. That's got to be, interesting." And she mentioned the significant growth they're going to go through over the next couple of years. And then she, we talked about what I do, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we were hoping to put together some sort of video for recruiting and all that." I said, "Just a matter of fact, I work with students. That's what they love doing." So it's a really cool project. The students, spent several weeks editing down the videos, creating the social reels, all this stuff. We delivered it. They loved it. And then the CEO and several staff members actually came to the high school. The kids got lunch. We sat in the theater. The folks from the Home of the Innocents gave them a gift, like a really nice camera lens that they can use moving forward.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, and we're actually gonna work together like next year too, and continue to develop this relationship. And I believe I've also talked about why, kind of why Home of the Innocents, why nonprofits kind of thing for this program. It just makes perfect sense. But in the meantime, we also, and I know we haven't talked about this because it's happened in the meantime, I got connected with Emily Davis, who's currently running MindFest, which is a mental health celebration every year in Louisville. It's in its 3rd year. It's big. It's at the Roots African American Museum downtown by the Yum Center. And it's a really cool event. I'll be actually on a board this year talking about veterans' mental health. And Emily's incredible. Like she's spearheaded it. She helped create it. She runs it. But she and I connected on LinkedIn. And the students, actually, we went to Presley Post, which is a co-working space downtown, beautiful space. And we filmed several people who are on the board or who were with local healthcare companies who support MindFest. So there was some C-suite people, some people that were all around healthcare.
Okay.
And they all gave interviews about the importance of MindFest and what it's about and all that stuff. And it was a much smaller team. We only needed about 6-7 kids there. But it's just over the course of the 2 years that I've been working with this program, it's amazing to see these students who are now so comfortable giving directions to adults who they don't know. So they're amazing. Oh yeah, they are now, and that wasn't, the whole point of it wasn't, let's make you really good videographers. They know how to do that. They're already doing that. Yes, we're challenging them a little bit more on their deliverables than school normally would. We're not letting things pass because this is end product that people are actually using for marketing.
Yeah.
So, we're pushing back, and it's good because they're learning now how to actually deal with a customer.
They have confidence.
Yeah, they have tremendous confidence, and it's great to watch them actually, tell an adult, let's sit at this angle, look over here, and actually helping.
I'm the professional.
Yeah, actually helping adults relax and speak normally, and telling them when they're, kind of fading away from a mic, or they're not, they're looking in the wrong direction or whatever. It's incredible. And that was kind of what we wanted to get to. Like and so the students got a chance to talk to yesterday about what this program meant to them, and what the process was like. And several of them mentioned, like, this helped me understand this is what I want to do. Like, before, it's like, yeah, I'm learning this in school. Do I know if it's a good career field? They don't know.
It's better than taking
Right.
chemistry or
Right.
whatever.
Now, but now they're working in the field doing videography projects for real customers that have a real need for this stuff. And I told the students at the beginning of this, like, you're going to create material that could influence someone's decision to move here and take a job with the Home of the Innocents. That person, in all likelihood, is going to significantly impact the mental health and future of a child in Kentucky. You're going to have influence on that happening by the story you tell through this video. They get it. They get it. The people at the Home of the Innocents get it. It was just
cold chills
right. But it's huge, and that's why I wanted to start working with them. It's like, marketing can matter. This is how you make it matter. You allow people to tell their story, and then you edit it to make it engaging, and you help them tell their story. And I was so proud of the students, and so thankful for the Home of the Innocents, because, like, you could hear something like this, like, a larger nonprofit or a larger organization will feel like they need to pay a significant amount of money to get it right.
Well, what does that say about you, Jay? That you were able to convey that to them, that, hey, look, I'm not just blowing smoke up these kids' asses either. They're going to make a product for you that you can use. It's not just a school project.
Sure. Well, that's the benefit of having done this for 2 years now. Because last year it was very small business owners. We went through Nulu, and we got just little snippets and all that. So now the students have a body of work. And now some of them who we've been working with next year will be seniors. So they will have been working with us on this project for most of their high school, as opposed to it's just new. Like, last year it was new to everybody.
Yeah.
We made some crap. We made some good stuff. We had some good stories. We did some good road trips, like up to Bloomington, Indiana for Snorkel Mart. But now that we're dialing in, we're learning on the go. And, because of that question that the parent asked during the last meeting, when, because twice a year, JCPS gets together, the parents, the students, and those of us in the business community who support the academies, and the students kind of talk through their experience. Last time a parent asked, and this was back in the fall, it was the fall meeting. I may have mentioned this on here before, but they asked, like, are you focusing on nonprofits? It seems like you all are working more with nonprofits. And I was like, no. But when they asked me that, I was like, that makes perfect sense that we should. There's plenty of need. And rather than me trying to convince my clients to do it, or go find business owners who, this is more of their time, or, whatever. And some of them are great about it, and some of them don't get it.
Yeah.
Nonprofits get it. And it's a great story for them to be working with JCPS students. Sometimes the local news came out to the home while we were filming. They were there. So
I love being on the news.
I do too. Is what it is.
It feels good.
It does. But, that's another thing I forgot to mention, MindFest, right? So this is just constantly engaging with people, finding ways to bring them value, and the value comes back. The video we created for MindFest is going to be played during football matches at Lou City.
Nice.
Throughout the next month, which is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah.
So the students now, after 2 years, have created something that's going to be seen by tens of thousands of people with their logo on it. And May 10th or 11th, they're all going to be at the match. And we're going to try and get them on the field while the video's playing.
Yay.
So, I mean, that's through connecting with Emily and really, engaging with her, finding out what the needs for MindFest were, the students showing up and doing phenomenal work and being very engaging, and everybody who's involved is just like, wow, Like this is real. This isn't just a school project.
Yeah.
And, JCPS has, last count, 99,000 students. Wow. It's probably more now, but that's massive. And I think that there's such an opportunity for businesses, and our school system throughout America has been fairly broken for a long time. It's designed to train you to be a 9-to-5 worker, or it's designed to train you to be in the same place for this long, show up on time, check these boxes, answer these questions. It's designed for that. The world doesn't work like that now.
No.
So
It hasn't worked like that in a long time.
It hasn't, but there's no clear answer.
Right.
But if we can show, we've got between the business community, nonprofit, media, and tons of students and creative teachers who are willing to do these things, you can impact lives, and you've got all the resources there. Home of the Innocents didn't have to spend anything. Students didn't have to spend anything other than their time. I didn't spend anything other than my time, but we're having a massive impact. So it's a really cool project, and I think MindFest is going to be all as cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Jay.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know when I was going to school, there were, where I went, there were opportunities for more real life learning, but it was very specified.
It was a VOTech.
Yeah, we had it. We had a tech school, and then they built like a JCPS campus, or not JCPS. JCTC campus next to ours, so you could start getting college credits before you went to high school. But there was nothing, that actually, if you didn't want to work on cars or learn how to, do CAD or whatever, it was kind of like, well, you're going to have to go to the university and you're going to have to do this or that. So I like that they have stuff for other
Southern High School
things.
In JCPS has a full and gorgeous auto body shop, and local car dealers use them. It's a business, and it's amazing.
Yeah, didn't you say one of them has a bank?
Same school.
Oh.
Southern High School has, I don't know if it's a credit union or a bank, but it's a fully functioning bank run by students. It's got one bank employee manager running it. The rest is run by students.
Wow.
And the students who go to school there use it as their checking, savings, all that stuff. That's my ultimate goal for this program at Atherton is I want these kids to be able to start running their own agency doing this. And I think another benefit of focusing our efforts with nonprofits also helps them avoid running afoul of commercial businesses in Louisville who do the same thing. Now, it's totally apples and oranges. They're not producing anything to the level that, like some of my friends who are in videography companies, it's not the same thing. So I don't think we're going to run, and I don't think any agency that we work with is going to have to worry about, because they get public funding, that they have to worry about any conflict of interest by working with school students,
Right.
Rather than paying an actual company. And some of them, because of the way their board is structured, or the way they're funding, or the way their bylaws, or whatever, they're going to have to work with a commercial company. It's just the way it works. They get funding for it. They have to have receipts. Cool. I'm not going to run out of nonprofits. I'm going to find people who need help.
Yeah.
So I think it's a win-win-win.
Oh, yeah. And then as far as working in the real world goes, every major company has a whole department of people who make the HR videos, the training videos,
marketing, social media.
Yeah. Yep. It's a whole department of people. So you're really giving them an opportunity to go and get a job after school with the talents that they have. It's not like, oh, we taught them how to use a camera. Go figure out where to get a job where you know how to use a camera.
That's another side benefit of doing these projects is networking. They're learning how to meet people and engage with them. And one of them got hired full time by Bridgehaven Mental Health Services.
Yay!
So, it's awesome all the way around. I'm very, very happy with the direction. Mr. Boros, who is their main instructor in the videography track. There's also a photographer, and there's a logo and design track. I haven't really worked with those teams yet because I haven't really had a need. It hasn't come up. I will try to fold them in more. Now, the photography students did go with us on a couple projects last year. But Mr. Boros is amazing. Very, very creative, has a long background in actual media in the news. Some of his former students are on the news right now. Some of his current students are going to, they're going to Syracuse. They're going to Savannah College of Art and Design next year.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a really cool program.
Faith in humanity restored.
Right. But nobody knows these things about JCPS. It's just an easy punching bag for a lot of people. I keep going back to perspective, and that's the difference between taking your opinion or forming your opinion based on what you read or see, it's the headline, or what people are saying on social media, and get your ass in the school, sit in a class, talk to the teacher. Like, how many people skip, like, when I was a kid, you went to every parent-teacher conference. Like, we would go, and you would go room to room. Now it's just like, and I know it's resource-driven, and it's the teacher's time, but they block out the entire school day for parent-teacher conferences, but it's not mandatory at all. So you don't even have to talk to your student's teacher. You don't have to. So I think a lot of people form opinions or base opinions that don't really know what they're saying.
Yeah.
People say JCPS as if that's the last step on the line. All of their funding comes from Frankfurt. All of their requirements come from Frankfurt. So,
Where's the red tape come from?
Well, I mean, they've got plenty of red tape. I've been in there, I know. But, however, they don't control. It's not like, the state says, here's $10 million, figure it out. No. It said, here's the requirements. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can't do. A lot of that is pushed downstream.
Yeah.
So
This year has been your year of the nonprofit. You're in your nonprofit era right now, Jay.
Yeah.
What have you learned in the last 4 months? We're in the 4th month of the year.
Yeah.
What are you learning now that you're kind of putting your focus more on that?
From within and from without is people don't, whether they work in it or whether they are on the outside looking in, they don't recognize that a nonprofit essentially is a business. Some nonprofits like, we've got nothing, we're broke, we're this or that. You play that card, that's how you're going to be treated. On the other hand, because I deal in software and platforms and all that, when I am looking at a possible partnership, because I'm software agnostic. And it's true. I don't say I only build websites with this, or I only work with this, or this software platform pays me 10%, so this is what you're going to use. I'll use whatever is appropriate for that situation. And that's why I have 700 different passwords, because I have tons. I'll pull up my vault. I think last I looked, it was 679.
Oh my gosh.
But because I learn and play with every platform out there, because I want to see how it works. I want to see if it works.
And then that's going to work best for
Right.
XYZ.
But where I was going with that was oftentimes I will, fill out their little form so I can do a demo to see what this thing is all about. So if it might work for a client. And a lot of times, they're trying to pre-vet you so they don't waste their time. Fine. They say, what customer are you serving with this platform? Nonprofits. They'll cancel the call.
Why?
Because everybody presumes nonprofits have no money or don't spend money.
I was going to say, they still have to pay for stuff too.
Exactly. And it's like $3 trillion or something crazy amount of money that goes in and out of nonprofits every year. I think their spending alone is like $300 billion. They spend money because they have employees. They have services they provide. They spend money.
I think people don't understand that nonprofit doesn't mean
you're broke.
that doesn't mean that there's no money.
Right. It doesn't. And that you have to recognize that.
That's confusing.
You have to recognize that within your nonprofit as well. Like you can't constantly, have the disheveled hat out like, well, we can't pay for anything.
Donate this.
Yeah, we need everything for free. It's like, you don't. You're a business that doesn't pay taxes. You have a product. You have customers. You bring in funds. You don't pay taxes because you have a social impact or some sort of impact, environmental, whatever. But I think moving past that, we're moving into an era where digital transformation tools such as robotic process automation, whatever, I'm not going to get in the weeds with that. Those things were only available to Fortune 500s because those were the only companies that they needed it.
Yeah.
And I think those that are moving past that idea, and I think on the outside, companies like mine or any other, much larger company who sees nonprofits as, oh, this is a customer that needs our service. They can really benefit from what we do. Sometimes that may take a more of a conversation than this is what it costs, here's what it is. Sometimes you can do stuff for a nonprofit and get other benefits than just dollars, like I do, with working with JCPS and all that. So that's the big thing I've learned over the last 4 months is there are a lot of stale ideas out there. Again, perspective.
So do you feel like now that maybe you're niching down even what kind of nonprofits you want to work with?
It's starting to, just based on who I'm working with, which is, mental health, children related, education related.
The things you already are passionate about in your personal life.
Yeah. And I mean, rather than niching down saying this is it, I'll work with anybody. But from the get-go, I was like, anybody can claim to be a nonprofit or apply to be for many, many reasons. I don't really have any interest in working with political-based nonprofits or heavily religious-focused on one religion. It's just not me. It's not what I want to do. I want to help people make impact. So that's why I gravitate towards, things like Mindfest and things like the Home of the Innocents. That's kind of, but yeah, I mean, if the Humane Society wanted, I would love to do that too. I'm not going to turn that down either because, I love animals and all that. So no, I haven't said this is it. And I know that's to my detriment as not, narrowly defining my niche, but
I don't think so necessarily because I don't want to say you're new to this realm, but you have shifted your focus recently. So you are kind of treading in new water a little bit to figure out.
Yeah. And, if some nonprofit that only deals with hibiscus flowers wants to give me $1 million, then now I love hibiscus flowers. So
we're hibiscus people now.
Yep, that's what we do. We plant them everywhere. That was a really weird example, but
save the hibiscus.
It could be a thing. I don't really know.
That's great. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to make money doing something that you love, but also that you feel like you're making like a positive impact on something. I mean, that's like the trifecta of dream job, right?
Yeah. I think another part of it is, and I think we're on the very, very beginning of this curve, though, as AI becomes more and more of a thing throughout the business world, I think best case scenario, people are going to gravitate more towards doing things of impact because they're not going to be needed to sit there and plug data into a spreadsheet all day.
The robots can do that.
Yeah. That's what computers were invented for. We turned ourselves into computers essentially by creating all of these, routine data entry tasks over many, many, many years. Even if you manage people, you're on your email all day. So I think moving forward into the next decade, there's just going to be more of an emphasis on doing things that impact causes that you care about, even if it is your job, rather than just, I got a job.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to be kind of on the crest of that.
You go, Jay. As far as automation goes, what do the small business people need to know about automation? You've done a really, I think, good job of explaining to the layperson what a big business, I don't want to say business, a big company like Home of the Innocents, what they need it for and what they can use it for. What about the people like us who are small business entrepreneurs? What do they need to know?
I'll say that
about it
on a broad scale, the way I see it is look at everything you do. You're going to find things that are very low impact to your actual bottom line. Like high impact activities for you usually revolve around speaking to someone, whether it's via Facebook Live, at a live event, You are the sales force, and you don't sell anything if you're not out there talking. What are the things you're doing in your business that's not that? Is it answering emails? Is it ordering stuff? Is it, making sure you have so much yellow or whatever? All those things, all that stuff can be basically anything that requires your fingers on a keyboard can be automated to some level.
Okay.
So, and that brings back another reason why I prefer to work with nonprofits, because I don't believe in automating away jobs. I think companies that do that they're ushering in the worst fears we have about AI.
Jay for president. Let me just say that real quick.
Nope. No, I'm not.
If you want to get your more gooder ideas, Jay for president shirt, go to Sadie Vance Custom Stuff.
Only if I'm riding a corn dog with a cowboy hat.
And like a laptop in the other.
Right. And a guitar, because I always wanted to be a guitar player, but I'm not.
This isn't your dream shirt. This is your president shirt, okay?
With a corn dog.
All American.
I like it. I like the idea.
Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to
go.
I didn't mean to go on. You like working with nonprofits because you don't believe in automating away.
Right. I think it's short-sighted. I think it's short-sighted, and you're not actually improving your business. So the classic case I say to a nonprofit when I'm first talking to them, just to allay those fears, because that's not what I'm after. And most of them don't have any interest in doing that. What if your staff had an hour extra a day to pick up the phone and call every donor every day of the week? What impact would that have? It would be huge. Statistically speaking, nonprofits, most of their funding, 80% of their funding comes from private donors. It does not come from grants. It comes from private donors. If you want, and you're competing with other nonprofits because people only have so many dollars that they're willing to give.
Right.
And the reason they give to your nonprofit is they want to be a part of whatever you are doing. They want to know what their money's going to. And if you're not reaching out to them and telling them, this is what we're doing with this money now, we want to thank you so much. If they hear that versus getting an email, and I'm not saying email is terrible, of course you want to automate that process too. But if you're on the very low maturity scale of automating things and you're just taking in money, and occasionally you may say, oh, hey, thanks for that because you saw them at some event, as opposed to regular automatic touch points, newsletters that can all be automated. Here's what's going on at the home and I don't want to keep saying them as if they're doing this. I'm not speaking for the Home of the Innocents. I don't work there. But engaging with people, helping tell the story of what you're doing with their money is going to have a definite impact on your fundraising.
Yeah.
Volunteers, managing volunteers, scheduling volunteers. If you can set up an app where they can do that themselves, and then you can see in a dashboard, oh, hey, we're going to be in real trouble here Thursday. We don't have anybody. Then spend your time reaching out there rather than every day filling out a spreadsheet and like, oh, no.
Yeah, or developing your employees. You have more time to develop them in other ways than to just be computers.
Right. And if you get a lot of funding from different sources and you get grants, you've got a lot of reporting to do at the end of the year, or 4 times a year sometimes. You can automate a lot of that process, all that data pulling and consolidating, save somebody a lot of time. Another way, and this is sort of adjacent to headcount, but not really, because one of the most difficult things a nonprofit can get money for is just general, which is upkeep, which is overhead, which is people. And if you're like, we lost somebody who does all this data entry, does all this intake and all this stuff. So you're going to spend money on adding 3 admins. What if you could, and you've only got this money, that's what you've got for staff. What if you could instead hire a rock star fundraiser? Because you're able to shift that focus and allow those people who are either leaving or shifting departments to take on more human-centric or focus on the mission itself.
So you're trying to reverse the AI effect.
Not necessarily. I mean,
we're taking our jobs back from the computers and giving them the stuff they're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. Artificial intelligence, robots, computers, call it what you will. We've turned ourselves into that with all of the routine, just admin stuff we have people do all day at every level. Every level, people are on their email all day.
You're taking back the power of humanity. We need to
Yes.
get you some kind of catchphrase with that
Okay.
for Root of Pie, because that is
Well, I like humanity through technology because that's the point.
right.
It's not I can make you $1,000 more a month because we're going to drip campaign, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and we're going to get rid of all these people that you're
No.
having to pay and give benefits to. I think that, like you said, that's people's fear, right? Is I'm
Sure.
not going to have a job anymore because the computer is going to do what I'm doing.
and that's already happening,
oh yeah,
but it's
well,
happening in the for-profit space because that's how people think. Shareholder value. Nonprofits don't have shareholders; they have impact, and when they have profit, which is more than they spend, they grow their impact. So removing people from that doesn't work. It just doesn't. Like you can grow your impact with those people so much greater. So yeah, that's my jam. That's what I like.
I love that. You should do a TED Talk. 'Cause I think most people really don't understand, or they have like the movie
Yeah.
version of what AI is. Like
Right.
AI is the robot soldiers that are going to come and kill everybody on my land, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or they're just coming and they're going to take my jobs and
Yes.
we're all going to lose everything we have. I don't think they really understand, one, how it works or how it could benefit them, but also how you could use it to actually propel your humanity.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think you should go and spread the word, spread the gospel, Jay.
I mean, I'm trying.
Jay for president.
You got to get off that. That's not going to happen. There's no. Even if I were to, no, I just know. Like,
They don't pay enough. That's for damn sure.
well, I don't make enough to even run. You got to be rich to even get in the game. It's a rich man's
I hate
game.
them all.
And if I were to strike it rich or win the lottery, that's the last game I would jump in. My ego doesn't need to be stroked that bad. I'd rather just be rich.
Okay, so my next question is, how do you think that the eclipse affected you? Do you feel like you were affected by the eclipse? That's just for my own personal knowledge. Do you feel like you were mentally, like, did you download information from the universe?
What have you been watching? What the hell? I leave you alone for a couple months and you go off the deep end on me.
I'm here for the entertainment. I'm not here for the knowledge or...
No, it didn't affect me at all.
Did you guys go anywhere and watch it?
No, Susan was at work and I was in the backyard trying to watch it, but the cloud cover was so heavy it was hard to. You just got to see it kind of poke through every now and then. Yeah.
We went to a place in Ferdinand,
Mm-hmm.
Indiana, and it's not a commune. What's the places where the nuns live?
Convent.
A convent, yes. A monastery.
Yeah. That's
and
monks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I knew there was a convent. That's the word I'm
Convent,
looking
yeah.
for. And we had a really great time. And they have this big, crazy
Nuns party.
They had
People don't know nuns party.
They had a brewery. They have a brewery on site, so they were serving like drinks and stuff. And then
Cool.
they had a little shack where they were doing like hot dogs and burgers. And on this big, beautiful hill with this big, beautiful Catholic building on top of it. And
Cool.
it was really
St.
fun.
Meinrad? Is that the one that's out there?
I felt everything that I looked at, like they call it the Dome.
Yeah.
Like if
I
you
think
go to
that's
their
Meinrad, I think.
website.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But everything had like a different name on it. So I was kind of confused about, but I love nuns. So that was really fun. And it was in the path of totality. So it got dark and everything. It was really cool.
Cool. Awesome.
I didn't download any information from the universe though.
Well,
Just letting you know.
maybe that is that.
They
where
might have taken information from me and that's why I am the
maybe that's why you're on this president kick. You got some aliens like, hey, see if she'll try and push Jay into becoming president.
They implanted me.
They're like, hey, we got a live one. Tell her all kinds of shit. Just see what she does.
So on that note, thanks for tuning in this week. And if you have a chance to volunteer for a nonprofit that is close to your heart in the coming months, please do so.
Or donate.
Yeah.
Make a difference.
If you have money, give it to somebody who's going to do something good with it.
Or send it to us. We'll do something good with it.
Oh, yeah, we will. Hashtag Jay for president. I'm Angie.
And I'm Jay.
Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the More Gooder Podcast. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at More Gooder Ideas and search us up on Facebook, the More Gooder Ideas Podcast. And don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode.